Next topic is the atmospheric aerosols. As you know, aerosols are the particle, either the solid or liquid, which are suspended by different gases. The aerosol mean the small particle like the sea salt particles, mineral dust, pollen drops of sulfuric acid, and many other materials are called as aerosol, whose particle size is in between the larger size particle and the smaller particles, very smaller particles, materials. So they have great impact on the atmospheric phenomena, on Earth climate and the biosphere. They are also cause influence on the hydrological cycle and atmospheric circulation and absence of the trace gases. If we see the sources of the aerosols, actually the aerosols uh, sources are very in there are many types of the aerosols and their sources are very different from one another. After the emission of the aerosol particle, they may cause some physical or chemical changes. Due to this, their size, composition, and structure of these particles may also be changed, and finally they are removed from the environment by a different process, which may be wet or dry deposition processes. This is the atmospheric cycle of the aerosol particles. Mean the aerosol particles are formed by the bulk particles to the smaller particle size. Mean bulk to particle conversion, emission from the natural or anthropogenic sources produce these type of the particles, and these or these particles may also combine with one another to form the nucleation, means small particles combine with another, and to form the condensation liquid particles, or sometimes one particle act as nucleus for the other to form some larger particles, so they may be converted into gas to particle conversion. And after that they may cause physical or chemical changes in the clouds, and in which they react with the other molecules to form different particles, and after that they can be deposited or dumped into the water bodies by the cloud processing, or due to the rain. So they are converted into different larger particles. So this is the atmospheric aerosol cycle of these aerosol particles. So aerosol originated from the wide variety of the natural and anthropogenic sources. Various aerosol particles are generated through the combination of the physical, chemical, and biological processes. Based on their formation, different source types can be distinguished from the one another, and the primary particles are emitted directly to the atmosphere as liquid or solid through a wide range of process, which is called as bulk to particle conversion, which is this process, bulk to particle conversion. Some particles formed by the nucleation and condensation of the precursor gases, which is called the gas to particle conversion, and the other from the reaction of the dissolved substances into the cloud droplets. During bulk to particle conversion, many different aerosol particles are generated from the solid and liquid base, materials. Ocean and dry continents region are the two main natural sources of the atmospheric aerosol. A large amount of the water droplets and the sea salt are released to the atmosphere through the sea surface and air bubble at the surface of the seas. As the water evaporates, this remaining salt is formed, which is called as aerosol particles, and it mainly include the sodium chloride, magnesium sulfate. Some wind-blown mineral dust are the primary source of the from the dry continental area like the deserts and semi-arid regions. Some natural sources are the volcanic ash, clay particles from the soil erosion, or biological materials such as pollens. Some anthropogenic activities also produced the aerosol, like the biomass burning, combustion of the fossil fuel, and industrial activities. The aerosol particulates originated during the gas to particle conversion are actually not emitted directly, but they react with the other gases to produce the Scandi particles. And some of these particles are transformed by the clouds droplets during the cloud condensation process. And after that, aerosol particles are sink by different ways, by the wet deposition process or the dry deposition process. Mostly 80 to 90% of aerosol particles are removed from the atmosphere by in clouds or below the clouds scavenging, which is called the wet deposition, mean by the clouds, by raining and by the clouds, and remaining particulates are removed from the dye deposition process. The first one is the wet deposition process, which is the main sink of the aerosol particles, in which the rain out or wash out is the process in which the most of the particles are removed from the atmosphere. During the precipitation, during the rainfall, the air become the clean from these pollutants. Next is the cloud deposition, mean at higher altitude, if there are longer plants, then these clouds containing the aerosol particles are deposited on that vegetation and removed from the atmosphere. Next process is the dry deposition process. First one is turbulent diffusion, mean with air they are diffused from larger particles from one to another area, so they can be easily removed from one area. This is for the larger particles. And sometimes gravitational settling, means sedimentation, also remove these aerosol particles from the atmosphere. Larger size particles are more influenced by the gravity, so they are easily settled down by the effect of gravity. If the particle size is greater than 1 micrometer, then this process is beneficial, because the larger size particles are easily settled down. And if the particles are or collide with the other particles, they also combine with them, and they are removed from the atmosphere. And next is the interception, mean interaction between the other particles. If an object is not directly in the path of particle moving in the gas stream, but particle approaches to the edge of the obstacle, it may collected by the obstacle. Mean in impaction there is just collision of the aerosol particles with the other materials and removed from the atmosphere. In this case of the interception, the aerosol particles are absorbed by the different obstacle or different particles. Next is the Brownian diffusion, mean the zigzag movement of the smaller particles also remove these different types of the aerosol particles. This type of motion is shown by the particles whose size is below 0.2 micrometer. Actually, the Brownian diffusion coefficient increase as the particle diameter is decreased. As the size of the aerosol particle is less, then it may easily show the Brownian movement. If we see the chemical composition of the aerosols, they have very complex chemistry because their chemical composition is very different. They due to the various sources and transformations, each particle has different composition from the other. They may include sulfate, nitrate, ammonium, sea salt, and crust element, and some carbonaceous compound which may be elemental carbon or organic carbon, in which the fine particles include the sulfate, nitrate, ammonium, and organic carbon, and some trace metals such as lead, cadmium, nickel, and copper. The coarse particles are the dust particles or earth crust elements, sodium chloride, nitrates, and biogenic particles such as pollen, spore, plants, fragments. As we know that the main component of sulfate uh, uh, are the main precursor of the sulfate component in the troposphere are the sulfur dioxide, which are emitted from the anthropogenic sources and the volcanoes and some other chemical materials. And the nitrates are originated from the nitrogen dioxide. If as we have studied earlier that if ammonia is present in the atmosphere and these if react with these acid produced by these nitrates and sulfate, or then it produce different salts such as ammonium nitrate or the ammonium sulfate. Similarly, the main source of the chloride in the atmosphere is the salt, sodium chloride, which is produced in sea sprays, and they are also produced by the reaction of the hydrochloric acid with the ammonia in the atmosphere. The carbonaceous material include the organic carbon and the other black carbon or the elemental carbon. It depends upon their source, which type of the carbon is produced by different sources. Similarly, some Scandi organic aerosols are also produced during the oxidation of the biogenic or anthropogenic volatile organic compounds. Their composition depend upon actually their location, the time of the aerosol production, and the weather condition and particle size. Some of the aerosols particles are water soluble and some are water insoluble. Mostly The smaller particles are the water soluble. So we can say the 80% of the smaller particles are water soluble, and the some type of the coarse particles are also water soluble, and these water soluble compounds are mostly the hygroscopic. That's why they when they absorb the water, they form the aqueous solution droplets, or mean their size may be increased by the addition of the water in them. These highly soluble particles include the ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, and sodium chloride, which act as cloud condensation nuclei. I mean, on their surface, they other molecules or other substances are combined, and they act as a nucleus for the attachment of these other types of the particles. So these are called cloud condensation nuclei. Some of the particles are insoluble in water, which are related to the soil dust and volcanoes eruption material, mean metal oxides, silicates, and clay minerals. If we see the lifetime of these atmospheric particles, the lifetime of these particles depend upon their properties, their size, their chemical composition, and the altitude, mean in which environment they are present. In the lower troposphere, the resonance time of the aerosol particle is usually less than a week. But if we go upward in the free troposphere, the particle sizes increase from 3 to 10 days on the average, and they can be travel to longer distance. And if we see the aerosol particles in the stratosphere, their lifetime may be increased up to 1 year, because in the stratosphere there is a lack of precipitation, there is no turbulent air. So if the particles are reached to the stratosphere, they remain for longer time in that place, and they may cause the depletion of the ozone in that area. So a very less amount of the aerosol in the stratosphere cause a very large destruction. Similarly, the smaller size particles, very small size particle may be collide with the combine with the other particles, so they have very short lifetime. And similarly, very large size particles have also very short time, because they combine with the other particles, or their size is large, so they may be easily settle down due to the effect of gravity. But the average size particles have more longest time, which is the 7 to 10 days on average, and which may cause the Brownian diffusion and in which the Brownian diffusion and sedimentation are less, so they are uh, remain for longer time in the atmosphere. Mean Brownian diffusion is more prominent in the smaller size particles, and the sedimentation is more prominent in the large size particles. But in the particle size is intermediate these two, then they remain for longer time in the atmosphere and cause the harmful effect, and in the end they are removed from the atmosphere by the mostly the wet deposition process. So this was today's